priority. Now that's why I'm running for Congress, because I did not get here. I got here because this country invested in me and gave me a chance. And that is my promise to you. I will fight every day as your next congressman to make sure we make that investment. And let me also add, I am going to co-sponsor the DREAM Act, and it's about time that we pass the DREAM Act.
We have time for a couple questions.
Regulations. Presently, 50 to 60% of all the funding that goes to infrastructure is spent on regulations, federal, state, and local. Well, we cannot build anything because the money's all going to paper.
I agree. So what we have to do is $1, we've got to get the dollar that's being allocated as quickly as possible to the front line to put someone to work. So it's not $1 leaving Washington, D.C. at 60 cents by the time it gets there. That dollar should be 95 cents by the time it gets there. So we've got to streamline this effort, especially at a time when we have so many folks unemployed. I'm going to stick with that question for a second. We know how to create jobs in this country. Look at our own history. You know, when President Eisenhower said, let's create an interstate highway system, we invested in this country, we put hundreds of thousands of people to work, and we created jobs and we created an economic boom through interstate commerce. When President Kennedy said, let's put a man on the moon, we invested in ourselves. We invested in creating the space program that then created Silicon Valley and technology and so forth, put hundreds of thousands of people to work and created an economic boom, and we know how to get out of this recession. If Congress would get up, can I say get off their butt? Yes. And actually pass some legislation, we know how to move forward. In our region, we need to keep our families safe and rebuild the levees. That is going to come through leadership and advocacy. That is how we move. We have thousands of construction workers out of work in this region. Let's start doing the work that we have to do, putting those folks together, and let's do it in an efficient way.
I know that you said at the beginning, don't believe the commercials unless I say I approve of it. But I gotta ask you this question, you know. I've been seeing some commercial where you advocate raising the gas tax. And I just wanna know, what's the truth about that?
For the record, I do not support raising a gas tax. That would be an unfair burden on middle-class families, and that would be a regressive tax. So for the record, I do not support raising a gas tax.
All right.
Thank you.
So let me just, the boundaries of the district are the Sacramento suburbs. So Elk Grove, Rancho Cordova, Fair Oaks, Carmichael, Arden Arcade, Citrus Heights, Folsom, Rancho Murrieta.
North Sac?
We don't have North Sac. And then we have the Florin Road corridor. And let me just make one last statement. November 6th is an important day. The Latino community is an important community. Part of the reason why my time's so short today is we are running around making sure that we get every vote out there. Every vote counts, and that is how our democracy operates. So thank you. It's an honor to be here. I hope you guys invite me back next year as a congressman.
Thank you again. I want to remind everyone again when we do the questions to please wait for the mic to get to you so we can hear, so everyone in the room can hear what we have to say. Next on the agenda, I have the distinct privilege of introducing one of the most prominent figures in California politics these days. Civil rights attorney Molly Munger exploded on the political scene this year with Proposition 38, a tax measure rivaling Governor Jerry Brown's own Proposition 30. The competition between these two measures has provided a lot of material for people like me, so thank you. If you're not familiar with Molly Munger, she is the co-founder and director of the Advancement Project, a nonprofit dedicated to closing the opportunity gap